Welcome to Homework Lib.
For part A, so just after switch is closed, no current will go through inductor, which means that initial current is equal to 0. So the power supply by the battery, which is P equal to I0 EMF here, should be equal to 0 watts. Since we know I0 is equal to 0, and 0 multiplied by anything is equal to 0. So for part B, so now the steady state is achieved. So we have the energy stored in the inductor can be equal to 1/2 Li squared. L is the inductance, I is the currents. And we know currents can be also described as EMF divided by resistance. So we have 1/2 L times EMF over R to the power 2 is equal to UL. So we know the inductance is equal to 2.5 Henries. EMF is 6 volts. Resistance is A omega. If we plug in back to the equation, we'll have the energy stored in the inductor is equal to 1/2 times 2.5 Henry multiplied by 6 volts over A omega to the power of 2. And this will give us the energy stored in the inductor is approximately equal to 0.703 Joule. So now let's determine the power that is being dissipated. The power is being dissipated in the resistance of the inductor, which is PR here. And this is equal to I squared R. And we know I can be described as EMF over R. So we'll have EMF over R to the power 2 times R. So eventually we'll have PR is equal to EMF squared over R. As you can tell here, R can be cancelled out. Okay? So we know EMF is 6 volt, resistance A omega. If we plug in back to the equation, we have the power being dissipated in the resistance of inductor is equal to 6 volts to the power 2 over A omega. And this is equal to 4.50 watts. So now let's determine the power supply by the battery, which is equal to current times EMF. And this can be also represented as EMF over R times EMF. So we eventually have P is equal to EMF squared over R. So we know the value for EMF and the value for resistance. If we plug in back to the equation, we'll have the power supply by the battery is equal to 6 volts to the power 2 over A omega, and this is equal to 4.50 watts as well. And these are the answers for this question.